Hey guys, Mr. Waltz. We're going to do the clock face. Make sure you're in the right folder. IAD period 4, students, your personal folder, and then in there should be a folder called clock that has all of your clock parts. If you don't have that, go back to the first video and start over because you're going to have a bad time if you don't have those things. Then we're going to hide the data panel. Now this project, all the wood that we're using and the clock parts, they're all done in metric units. So we're going to go up here in the browser. We're going to change our units from inches. We're going to click this little change active units tool, and we're going to change from inches to millimeters. That's going to make our life a lot easier. You'll see the grid changes, but we don't really use grids anymore, so it's all good. So then I'm going to create sketch, put it on the XY plane, and I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to turn on construction lines. So it's going to be a construction line circle. We're going to make the diameter 200 millimeters. And the reason we're doing this represents the span of the clock hands. The biggest clock hands in the kit are this big. And so if we create, a rectangle big enough to cover this, then our clock face will be big enough. So that's what we do that for. We're going to turn off construction. And next thing we're going to draw is a rectangle. We're going to do a center rectangle. Click on the origin again, and we're going to make this bigger than the circle. And a good number to use is 225 millimeters. So I'm going to go 225, hit tab, 225, hit enter. And now I'm getting started on my clock face. So I can go ahead at this point and finish it. And I'm going to go to my home view. I'm going to extrude it. It's going to be a 3 millimeter extrude. So I'm just going to type 3. Let's see, what else can we do? It'd be nice to round off the corners on this. So I'm gonna go get the fillet tool, and I'm gonna click on this edge here and the other 3 edges that are the same size. All of these similar edges. And we'll put a fillet on here. Let's see what 25 looks like. 25 looks pretty good. We'll go with that. Okay, so we rounded off those corners. Next thing we need to do, let's put a hole in the middle. So we'll get our hole tool, and we'll click on the face here, and you can drag the hole to the center here. You can see it'll snap at the origin. And what we want to do for this hole is we're going to do a all hole. It's going to go all the way through. It's going to be a simple hole, clearance, and flat drill point, although that doesn't really matter in this case. Down here, we're going to use an ANSI metric M profile because that's the screw thread that is on the clock movement we're going to use. And flathead machine screw is fine. And we want M8s and a loose fit, okay? And so we're just going to hit OK, and it's going to punch a hole in there. And that hole will be just big enough to clear the threads on the clock movement. Okay, cool. So this looks good so far. We need some markings on here so we can tell what time it is, right? So we're going to go in here. We're going to go create sketch here on the front. Like I did before, I'm going to make a circle that's a construction line circle with a diameter of 200 millimeters. And we're going to use that to draw our little marks here. And we're going to do some really simple ones. I'm going to move that dimension over. We're just going to go up here at 12 o'clock and draw a rectangle, okay? So I'm going to use the line tool, still in construction, and draw a line up to 12 o'clock. Notice it's a construction line, so it won't extrude. And then we're going to zoom in up here. We're going to turn off construction. We're going to draw a rectangle. And what I'm going to do is I'll put my mouse on that point right there. I'm going to go over to the left a little bit horizontally, and then I'm just going to draw a rectangle. And what I want to do is I'm going to make this 25 tall. Let me zoom that out so you can see it, and 5 millimeters wide. So it'll be kind of a fat, chunky rectangle. So you draw this line, and it's a little weird. It shows up as black, but if you put your mouse over it, you'll actually see it's not fully constrained. So we're going to constrain it. We're going to do a midpoint constraint, and we're going to click on this horizontal line here, and then we're going to click on the intersection right there, that point. And you can see that makes it black and fully constrained. Then we're going to finish our sketch. We're going to go to our home view, and we're going to extrude this. And this will be something we engrave on the laser. So I'm going to make it go inwards. I'm going to tell it to cut. And the depth I'm going to use is 0.5 millimeters. So you can see it's a negative number. So it'll be minus 0.5, and then hit enter. And you can see it's indented slightly. So now we have a mark for 12 o'clock, and we need to make the other 11 marks. So we're going to create a pattern, circular pattern. We want to choose features here, so we can choose that whole extrusion. Click on the extrusion, and then we need an axis. So I click axis, and we're just going to use this circle here for our axis. And you can see it'll go ahead and start making a pattern of those marks. You want a full angular spacing, and you want quantity 12, and hit OK. And now you got your marks. So now we've got a clock face. This is pretty nice. We also need, though, we're going to have to attach it to something. So we need a way to attach it to some other pieces, because it would just fall over, right? So we're going to make a little stand. So to start creating this stand, we're going to go to the create a new sketch, click on the front again. And what I'm going to do is go make some rectangles. We're going to do what are called finger joints, which is where the wood pieces slide together. So we're going to make 2 slots in here that can fit into our stand pieces. So I'm going to go find right here, right where the arc meets the line here, you'll see an endpoint, which is a rectangle. Click there, and we're going to make a rectangle. And the height of the rectangle is going to be 25, and the width of the rectangle is going to be 3. And then we're going to hit enter. Now we need another one over here on the other side. So we're going to make another rectangle, find that endpoint again, little square icon, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle here. And then instead of dimensioning this new rectangle, I'm just going to constrain it. I'm going to make the side equal to the side of the other rectangle. I'm going to make the top equal to the top of the other rectangle using the equal constraint up here. Now we're good to go. We've got our 2 slots. We're going to go ahead and cut these. Extrude, dude. Click one rectangle, click the other. We can drag it backwards for cut. Tell it to cut, excuse me, I misclicked, all. And we're going to cut that all the way. Okay, so the shape of the clock face is now done. Right now it's steel. That doesn't look right. And so we're going to use wood or acrylic. I'll do this one for wood. So we'll do that. We'll do a little bit of housekeeping right here. First thing I want to do is I have in my bodies here, you can see body 1. What I want to do is make this a component. That's going to be useful later. So I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to say create components from bodies. So you can see now it says component 1. Then I'm going to double click on the name there. And what I can do, if I double click on the name, I can edit it. And we're going to call this the face and hit enter. And then now what we can do is go ahead and take the face. We can right click on it, and we can do a physical material. That'll pop up. I'm going to go down to wood and use birch. And so that's cool. It's birch now, but the appearance kind of sucks. So I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to go over here, right click on face 1 again, and I'm going to do appearance. And then my favorite appearance down here, it's in, let me show you the whole folder tree. It's down here under wood. So if you expand wood, you'll see wood solid actually is below wood. Unfinished 3D ash, and drag that over, and that'll give you a really cool wood texture. So that's how you make the face. Let's save this thing so we don't lose our work. We'll call this the clock, very original. And what we'll end up with here, I know this is the clock face, we'll end up with one design file that contains the face and the stands and all the pieces. Okay, so go on to the next video. We'll show you how to make the supports, and good luck, have fun.